Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Docket Dodgers, and we're having another live weekly docket to discuss some of the happenings of the week. I'm Wade Hall, and I'm joined today by
Matt Hager. Wade, I really love these lives. And, and now we're live on TikTok. And hi to everyone there on
Yes.
TikTok. And hi to everyone here on the Tube. So, guys, if you have any questions, if you're on the TikTok or the YouTube, you can talk to us and we'll be able to answer your questions live. Hopefully, in the future, more people will learn about the Docket Dodgers live and we'll have more interaction.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty blind, so I really can't see what's going over there on TikTok, but I'm sure it's very
Oh, I'll tell you
positive.
all
And
about it, man. Don't worry about it.
okay,
They're saying all but good things about you.
thought so.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Like, I'm just the best.
Yeah. They said, wait, that guy in his Epstein shirt looks awesome.
I'm not on the list. The list isn't real, and if it is real, it's a liberal hoax.
All right, what we got, Wade?
First thing on the docket is brought to you by you. A speeding ticket scam out of the South, Louisiana,
I
Texas.
think it was like something in the neighborhood, 4,000 tickets. This Constable wrote, and it was all like an elaborate scheme to raise money for the Justice of the Peace and the Constable's Department. I don't know how they're like, but they're like anything like Kentucky is. The Justice of the Peace position and the Constable positions are not really funded positions. Most of the time, the constable will make money off of serving court papers for the courts. And they charge usually around $60 for doing that. And the justice of the peace, they will make money off of marriages because the justice of the peace can notarize documents and they can marry people. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Kentucky used to be like West Virginia.
They used to be able to read.
No, well, they used to be able to. We have magistrates in West Virginia, and our magistrates are not attorneys. I mean, they can be an attorney, but sometimes, for the most part, most of them are not attorneys. And that used to be the way it was in Kentucky too, and they were called magistrates and justices of the peace. And in Kentucky, they actually did divorces. And when you got a divorce, you went to justice of the peace. And I think this changed around the 1970s. But anyways, those positions now, since like in Kentucky, since the Constitution changed and they changed what those duties and powers of those positions are, they're not funded by the state legislature no more or funded by your county government. So this guy came up with a way to fund it, but the only problem is, Wade, he wrote 4,000 tickets in 2 weeks.
Well, it's easy. I think we would have a really well-funded podcast if I could just ticket people.
Yeah. If it's something along the neighborhood, I think each ticket was worth like $150 or something like that. And it was what the average ticket was. And what it was supposed to do, those tickets were supposed to be split between the constable's office, the justice of the peace office, and the school board was supposed to get a cut of it. And I think out of this roughly $300,000, that school board only ended up getting around $60,000. But now it just seemed like it was a scheme, and I think the attorney general has even stepped in. And we have a video about that, don't we, Wade?
Yes, we do. We'll pull it up. So the attorney general, when we talk about that, that's the highest, like investigatory type.
Yeah, most of the time in your state, your attorney general is like the attorney general of the United States. You're your chief justice officer, highest law enforcement officer in the land. Okay,
here we go.
From the investigative unit tonight, an update to a series of stories about an illegal speed camera operation on the west side, which was dismantled by the attorney general.
And since then, they've learned that the man in charge has resigned and had some choice words for Liz Murrell and another elected official. Bess Casserly reports.
Michael, Sylvia, it seems the constable did not like how the AG and a state senator painted his ticket program, which he says was created in an effort to try and fund his office.
This speed trap operation in Bruley last year caused quite a bit of drama on the west side.
Did you see them?
No. By the way, thank you for the rose, Randa.
Look at him out there. He's earning his dollar.
Is that him? Well, and actually, what was wild about this scheme is, I think that they're going to get into this though, but that radar gun that he's using is, I don't think that's actually, it's like on loan or something, because part of the money that they made goes back to the radar detector company too.
Oh, so the radar detector company's getting a piece of the scheme
it's
too?
It's like a big money grab.
Wow. At least he has the safety vest on.
This speed trap operation in Bruley last year caused quite a bit of drama on the west side and has since been shut down. If you recall, the constable of Ward 2, Ron Tetzel, and the Justice of the Peace, Thomas Southen, were enforcing speed limits in school zones on LA1 with a radar gun and sending the tickets through the mail.
The photo enforcement cameras allow us to slow traffic and enforce the traffic laws without having to put officers or other drivers at risk on the sidewalk.
It sparked outrage among drivers and other elected officials like Senator Caleb Kleinpeter and Attorney General Liz Murrill, who got involved and shut the program down.
You can't sign a contract whenever it breaks the law.
Well, we're finally hearing from the embattled constable, who we learned resigned from the position earlier this year.
The WBRZ investigative unit obtained a copy of Tetzel's fiery resignation letter in which he puts State Senator Caleb Kleinpeter and Attorney General Liz Murrill on blast, saying the thought of working for them makes him nauseated.
Adding that they are self-important, unaccountable, soundbite-obsessed officials. He says he had no support as constable, made $380 a month, and had to use his own car and weapon on the job. And quote,
I'm glad you stopped that there, but you know what you're signing up for when you get this position. You know,
to serve your community, right?
That's what it's for. I mean, a constable, and if it's like the constables in Kentucky, they're just like a local neighborhood watch in a way. That's got like a firearm. It's just another, added security measure in your county. And this guy, when you run for office, I know exactly what the salary is going to be of the position I'm running for.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he needed a gun to do the job of what did you say? They mainly do like small civil stuff.
Well, yeah, and when it first started out in Kentucky, I don't know if it's true in Louisiana because this is where this is at, but
which is it's not common law in Louisiana. It's civil law. They're a little weird down there.
They got that French influence in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Little flair.
Yeah. Or is it Spanish? It's French or Spanish?
French.
It's French. Okay.
Yep.
But anyways, in Kentucky, what the constable's office started out to be was that they were, like a mini sheriff in your town or where a group of people were at. Because if you think like when Kentucky first became a state in 1792, it's probably hard to get from community to community for a county of the sheriff, and especially when like Kentucky started out. We had like 5 counties in the whole state.
Yeah. Now you guys have like over 100, right?
Yeah, we got 120 now. But that's what the constable was for. He was supposed to be like your mini sheriff in your community. And so, but like I said, this guy knew what he was getting into. He knew what that he'd have to use his own car, because most of the constables do.
Now, I would think this is normally a position an older member of the community who may be retired takes.
Yeah, and it's mostly what your constables are. There might be old deputy sheriffs. They used to be deputy sheriffs a long time ago, and now they're retired. And, they're still out and about in the community, so it's a way that they give back.
Yeah. Well, he's about taken.
Effort to evolve this office and position from a half-baked Mayberry operation.
Whoa.
Justice of the Peace.
Mayberry had a very good operation.
It was a beautiful town.
There was not, the town drunk was locking himself up.
It was well organized.
So let's not knock Andy Griffith and Barney Fife.
Yeah, what's the crime rate of Mayberry?
Right, none.
Came up with a traffic enforcement program which would provide funding for the office and some money for the school district. Tetzel claims the AG's civil division approved it. In total, the constable sent out more than 4,000 tickets over a 2-week period, but only about 30 people actually paid them.
Okay, I don't know about you, but if I got like a ticket from an out-of-state camera, I don't think I'm ever...
Or in-state.
I don't think I'm looking... Well, West Virginia specifically bans camera ticketing.
You can't do that. I know that traffic violations are kind of that quasi... it's not criminal and it's not entirely civil.
Well, they say that, but then they like make it go really criminal if you don't pay.
Right. And if I'm out of state and you're sending me a mailer that has like from another state and you got me on picture on camera of speeding or running a stop sign or something like that, to me it's not good service. You didn't really personally serve me with notice of the court case. And so if the court doesn't have jurisdiction because they haven't served me with notice, why am I responsible for it? And further, how did they know from a picture of my license plate that I was the person driving the vehicle?
It's true. Yeah, I'm tired of noticed arguments though.
All since been reimbursed. We previously reported the Justice of the Peace's office was on the hook for about $90,000 owed to the camera company from those unpaid tickets.
Ooh.
What was it? I didn't hear that part. What did he say?
Ooh, the local people are on the hook for $90,000 to the camera company.
Oh yeah,
because they're not getting their part of the bill,
right.
and the AG already said people don't have to pay the bill.
And so this is probably a contract between
Mm-hmm.
the constable's office or was the AG's office?
I would say the constable's office. The AG just approved their plan.
Right. Well, if he's the one who's approving the plan, do you don't think he's got some sort of liability?
Nah, they're too high power.
They got immunity.
Yeah, they're gonna be like,
okay.
This is not what we meant.
Receive their $90,000, and they would have to file a lawsuit against them.
According to Tetzel and Southen, that debt was absolved.
Now, Tetzel's resignation opened the door for a special election to fill the position, which will take place in October.
Who wants it?
In his resignation letter, he wrote, "I wish my successor luck because he or she will need it."
He left a mess, evidently.
Yeah, he left a $90,000 bill.
By saying,
"All right, you two, pay some bills."
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me that they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they had an act that restricts manned handheld automated enforcement in school zones, limits hours of operation around, and requires endeavor between the school system before implementation.
I'm just going to tell you that, I mean, looking at our show notes that we have here, this whole thing, it seems like it's geared around raising money for a school district. But if you look at this, the school district only gets 10% of the cut.
Oh, Matt, how do they get casinos in every town in the country?
I don't know. Indian reservations?
A little percent of the tax going to go to the kids or the old.
Yeah.
You got to attach your scheme to something.
Right.
Next we have another scheme. This one by a multinational corporation, it seems. This would be Sony. Would you like to tell the folks?
Basically, what I get out of it, and we'll learn a little bit more together here, but what I get out of it is that these group of attorneys decided to sue Sony over some sort of digital game sales. And it was, I don't know what the policy was. I think it was a monopoly. They had a monopoly on, you couldn't go to like GameStop and Walmart and buy certain games, and they were monopolizing game sales, and you had to buy them off of the Sony PlayStation network. And so these group of attorneys bring a class action, but the only problem is that with all the people that were affected by this, the class was only awarded a $7.8 million settlement, and most of the money and that money at $7.8 million, it didn't come to the form of actual money. It was some sort of game coupon. Is that what we got, Wade?
Yeah. So out of the 10 million split there, like seven went to the consumers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you expect to get a refund, sometimes Amazon will give you store credit, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you spend it, sometimes you don't. But this was part of a class action, and their lawyers agreed to give them store credit. And it's already been proven that they can't own anything in the store. You're not buying the ownership of something. You're buying a license to use, a ticket.
Right.
And they're just giving them more of a hassle.
So it seemed like the attorneys went in there for themselves. They certified this class on a group of individuals that had been wrong, and they were settling for $3 million for the attorneys to get the $3 million, and they settled quickly. And it didn't seem like that was a good enough exchange, but it seemed like the attorneys were willing to negotiate that because they wanted the money.
So you're telling me the attorneys didn't get $3 million in Sony store credit?
No, they got actual cash. They did. And the thing about those classes is that like either one or a couple individuals will be your class representatives, and usually it's just one person. And so if you can get that one person to agree to the settlement, it's pretty much the settlement for the rest of the class.
Well, I was a big Sony fan growing up. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. But PlayStation was shut down after the movie The Interview came out, and North Korea hacked PlayStation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they hacked it. It was down for like a month or so. Then I switched over to Xbox because I'm a big gamer.
Right.
But some of the stuff I used to own on PlayStation, on the PlayStation Store, they would take it out of my library. Like, if you bought this movie, like 10 years later, they would be like, they took it off the store, and now you don't own anything at all.
So what you were buying a license to view it?
You were buying a license, yeah.
Okay.
A revocable license they could take away at any time, apparently.
Right. Well, but props to this judge here. This judge is U.S. judge in California. He said that's not a good enough settlement. He rejected the settlement, and it's a sham settlement. It really is. I mean, it seems like the attorneys went in there and they're like, "Hey, let's cut and run quick and run out here with a quick $3 million and leave everyone else to suffer for it."
Well, their lead attorney here, Michael Buckman, he refused to comment.
I wonder why.
Normally, these high-profile civil class action lawyers, they love to talk about what's going on.
Yeah,
and
he didn't want any advertisement.
No, he did not want.
So 4.4 million people are in this class, and the class is only set to get 7.8 million.
Yeah, because I don't know Sony's numbers.
So is that $2 a person?
Well, they say they were overcharging for games, and I don't know how much they were overcharging per game, but I feel like they're a worldwide company. These are only U.S. people. Sony probably $10 million is probably an easy check to write on something like that.
Well, you think it's a way for them to make more money because it's just a $2 digital coupon.
Oh yeah,
so you're motivating people to buy more games and $2 digital coupon to make more money.
You're giving away monopoly money.
Yeah.
33% of the settlement for legal fees is normal. When you say that's not egregious.
Yeah.
Like
most of the time, it'd be 33 in the third, and if you went to trial or something like that, they would raise it a little bit more. And that's plus their expenses. They can take their expenses out of that. So I mean, you're getting a 33 in the third attorney fee. And we haven't seen what the fees would be, and so like most of the time, the attorney will count their paralegal fees. They'll count having a court reporter there for depositions. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that attorneys will take out of that over top of their cut.
Yeah, no, the expert fees in a digital transaction case are probably real high. But that's Sony.
Okay.
Giving a license. Well, there's more. I don't know if you heard about it. There's a new law in UK where people have to verify their age to access certain content and stuff like that. And Visa and MasterCard have been telling these game stores you can't sell this game or sell that game because they're like violent or hyper realistic or something like that.
I know the Japanese do that.
Yeah,
they don't like sorcery and magic or is that China? Chinese.
No, but they're great. We're on TikTok right now, and I want to say
we love China.
We love.
I mean,
they're good people.
China people are great people.
Yeah. If they say something's wrong, it probably is.
Yeah.
Oh,
my Chinese spy is freaking out right now.
Oh, is he? I'm sure he's happy. What's going on?
Oh, are we still live?
Oh, we got a little spinny ball. Yeah,
it went away. Good.
Seems good.
All right.
Next we have all the public defenders in Massachusetts just apparently quit. This story really stood out to me. They were like, we're not working for $65 an hour, which, in the southern state, $65 an hour is low. In Massachusetts, $65 an hour is nothing.
I mean, it's like $45 in taxes in Massachusetts.
Yeah, you can't buy a lobster roll with that.
I know. and this is what's wild about this is that we're paying people. Okay, you're thinking about protection of your constitutional rights. When someone gets arrested and they have to go through due process to go through the court system, we have people there defending their rights, but at the same time, they're defending your rights too, Wade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're not letting, nefarious things go on in the court system. They're not making sure everyone's entitled to a fair trial. That means if something ever happens to you, they've already established this precedent before, and you're going to get your right to a fair trial. And I just think paying these people $65 an hour is just wild.
Well, the states around them make over 100 easy.
Yeah,
all of them,
and it should. And there's if you're not in a public defender office, and I don't think these are contract attorneys, right?
Yeah, so it was like most of the work is done by these contracted attorneys
Right.
for appointed work.
Right.
There's a video here that breaks it down, covers the percentages of their
Increased
system.
pay for court-appointed lawyers.
But that may not end the work stoppage we've been reporting on. WBZ's Louisa Mueller is live at the State House tonight. And Louisa, the lawyers involved in this work stoppage are actually angry about the deal.
David Lee said there were a couple dozen of them here today, and they are livid, in part because they're only getting a fraction of the raise they wanted, but also because they say they repeatedly reached out to House and Senate leaders, and they were never given a seat at the table.
Right to counsel is only words to them. They don't understand that. They don't understand the Constitution, and they certainly don't understand the hard work that bar advocates do day in and day out throughout this Commonwealth.
Hear, hear.
Massachusetts bar advocates slammed state lawmakers vowing not to return to work.
$20 an hour across the board.
Even as the Senate and House voted in favor of giving them a $10 an hour raise immediately and another $10 next year.
The state legislature, it's
That's an insult.
That's a slap in the face. They should have not passed anything.
They should be paid double what they're paid.
Oh yeah.
Specifically, the Democratic leadership has thumbed their nose at us for 21 years.
The sticking point remains money. Bar advocates are state contracted defense attorneys who represent defendants who can't afford a lawyer. And in late May, some stopped showing up to work, demanding a $35 an hour raise to the $65 an hour they currently make. Bar advocates in surrounding states already make more than $100 an hour.
Let's go back to that little graph. So these are all the states surrounding them. And Maine's a more rural state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they're the most.
I'm going to tell you, most of the time, your people who they're calling them bar advocates, and I'm sure West Virginia, I know, allows you to claim paralegal time on your pay, and I think, or maybe not West Virginia, maybe another state.
Sure.
There's another state that allows you to do paralegal time, but anyways, I just want you to notice your bar advocate rates there. People might think, well, man, it's $150 an hour. It's high. New Hampshire, $225 an hour. That's high. What are these attorneys? What are these poor attorneys complaining about? But I want to say that most of the time, people who take appointed work are new attorneys. Mm-hmm. And I just want to and think about the expenses that they have starting out. I mean, the average bar, payment back for law school is probably a couple $1,000s a month.
Oh yeah, I'm not even going to think about it.
Yeah, and that's really and when I'm thinking about somebody protecting the Constitution and protecting due process for everybody, I want that person to be well compensated.
Well, think about what another lawyer is going to be if you have a criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
How much you're going to have to pay a lawyer to actually do that?
Most of the time, like a misdemeanor case, if it's a knick-knack misdemeanor, you can probably get by with a minimum of $1,000, $2,000, and then some felonies, like a low-level felony, might be $10,000, but like your more serious felonies are going to be like $100,000.
Yeah, and most people through the criminal justice system they qualify for an appointed lawyer.
Yeah, almost always.
Yeah. Because even if they don't at the time, after you sit in jail for so long,
you do qualify because you're going to lose your employment. You're going to lose your home. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go in it. And, and most places have a law that will get you back in front of a judge on a bond hearing or something in so many days. But just think about the damage. I mean, for someone who sits in jail for a month waiting on a court hearing.
Oh, you lose everything.
Yeah.
Than $100 an hour.
Happy to be out?
Yes, sir.
WBZ showed you defendants getting out of jail as the work stoppage left thousands unrepresented and forced judges to dismiss more than 100 cases in Suffolk County. Now, the legislature's plan would also put $40 million towards hiring 320 more public defenders. These are a separate group of attorneys who work full-time for the state. Governor Maura Healey says she's prepared to sign the deal.
It's really a function of how much money there is in the budget right now. And, the legislature, I know, worked very hard to provide what they could within what we have for budget right now.
But bar advocates say their grief remains over the secrecy of the process.
Wade, wouldn't you think that it's cheaper to raise the pay of a contract attorney over it would be to hire 320 more public defenders?
Well, I think they should have a public defender's office. Just thinking of Boston, like the amount of people that go through the court system, I feel like you would want them to be on staff there every day to make the process more efficient.
Right.
But no,
because you got to pay that person a salary.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, in Massachusetts, it has to be a very high salary.
Yeah.
You want to think it has to be 6 figures.
Well, that's the thing with these public jobs, right? You can hit them with you get the public interest loan forgiveness.
Right.
So people really like that starting out. And it's a great place to get experience because going out on your own, you're handed murder case. That's not awesome.
I mean, even going out on your own, a new attorney, and you're handed a DUI case. That's overwhelming.
Oh,
yeah. And to have,
everything.
Yeah. To have someone in an office and a group of public defenders that you can bounce ideas off of, they've been there before, they can kind of mentor you and show you the ropes. It's a great way to get started in a criminal defense. But I think that, if I'm looking at it from a budget standpoint and I'm a governor or a legislature, I'm going to think that raising the contract prices would be a cheaper way for the state to go, because if I pay this person $70,000, I don't have just $70,000 in that person, because now if they're full time, I have to pay them health insurance. I got and benefits and retirement, and that all factors into those costs.
It does, and then you're on the hook for any other factors that come into it.
Do you think that was kind of like a slap in the face, saying like, well, you guys want more pay, so I'll tell you what, since you guys raised such a fuss over this, we're not going to give you more pay. We're just going to hire more public defenders and bypass you altogether.
So I was talking to people at West Virginia's legislature 100 years ago. A lot of the elected officials were lawyers. It was a good way to do advertisement for your own practice, right? You're like, I'm a legislature. I know what I'm doing. So the people writing the laws and passing the bills had legal background. And now, then, if you look at the number of people in state legislatures across the country who are lawyers, numbers real low.
Right.
Real low. So a lot of people don't see the need of, why are we giving so-and-so 5th-time offense drug user a free lawyer at $120 an hour?
Right.
So the losing position when you go in front of a vote, but in a liberal state like Boston, you would think it would be there.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You think Boston would have they have the resources.
They have the tax money.
They definitely have the tax money and the resources to do something.
Right.
Nowhere. You're strengthening our cause and our resolve. Personally, I am not taking another case until they do what is right.
Now, there is also language in this deal that's supposed to prevent future standoffs like this. It says that if bar advocates refuse to take future clients because they're upset about their pay, it could constitute a violation of the state's
Whoa.
Now they're threatening antitrust.
So is that unconstitutional in your opinion?
Yeah, especially in these work at will states and like.
Well, not only that, you're prohibiting speech. You're prohibiting protest. I mean, I think that. So you're telling me if something goes wrong and I don't like the way the government is treating me, I have no way to petition them or protest them? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That's why I think them hiring the 320 public defenders is a slap in the face. Like, we're not going to give you guys more money, but I'll tell you what we will do. We will hire more public defenders and take away your source of living.
Yeah. Well, the people are entitled to lawyers. The lawyers are not entitled to clients.
Right. Exactly. But I just think that I don't know. I feel like a little bit different than like what these legislators are thinking about it. I feel like if someone has a problem, I want to do my best to fix it. And instead of just trying to fix it, I feel like they gave them a slap in the face with $10 raise for this year. And now we're going to hire 320 more public defenders, so we don't need you no ways.
Well, that $10 then $20 raise should have happened 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and then they should be over $100.
Oh, I think across the board. I think when you are out there every day fighting for due process and fighting for constitutional rights, that is something that's really important in the United States. It's the whole reason we fought a Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
You know,
And I just don't see how you can say that 65. Have you been to Boston? At least the Northeast. Think of going to New York or
I
Philadelphia.
went through Massachusetts. I've been to Salem.
Yeah. Just the price of gas.
Oh yeah.
How do you even drive?
Man, I was
to
on
the
a Greyhound.
courthouse?
Listen, I was on a Greyhound to Salem, and I'll never do that again. My wife wanted to go to Salem during October, and we were on a Greyhound, and they put us in the main front seat. There was no leg room in the front, and you couldn't recline your seat. And I was straight up all the way from Kentucky to Massachusetts.
Just imagine those poor women that were put on the witch trials, how they felt. Boston.
Okay, what we got next on the docket, Wade?
Next on the docket.
You know what I just realized, Wade?
Yeah.
I record on the Rodecaster.
Oh no, does that matter?
Yeah, I don't have the SD card anyways.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's recording live. Unless you wanted to go back and make a video later.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, but we'll be fine. We'll
be
live.
fine.
Where we at?
We're down to Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, I love this. And I wish I was in this. I don't want to. I think this is cool.
Yeah,
actually,
you think this is cool?
Yeah, I want to be in a illegal gambling place with a bunch of Iranians that have a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be hanging out with these people. It's going to be fun in the moment, but let's see how happy he is afterwards. Oh, we have a video to watch to go with it. It's the news report, if it goes up there. And you a fan of Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero?
Hey, listen, is he the same guy that brought a gun into the locker room?
Of course he is.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, practice.
Yeah. The practice, that's Allen Iverson.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Practice, man. We talk about practice.
I can't believe I got them confused. Gilbert, though, good play, good point guard.
Been charged
Not Allen
with
Iverson,
allegedly
good.
running a high-end illegal gambling business out of a Los Angeles mansion where high-stakes poker games are played. Now, Arenas and a half dozen others are scheduled to be arraigned on several charges in Los Angeles. And ABC News' Alex Stone has more for us. Alex?
Kana, yeah, Gilbert Arenas is a big name, former NBA star, played on the Warriors, the Wizards, the Magic, a number of different teams. And these charges coming as a surprise. He's been in the news recently because his son, who is a star USC recruit, was in a Tesla truck crash and was injured in that. So their name has been around. Gilbert Arenas does a number of podcasts and other things now. So he's quite well known even after his NBA time. But what federal prosecutors are alleging is that he has been running this high-level illegal poker operation out of a home in the Encino area of LA, and not just having a couple of buddies come by and play poker, but that this was a very well planned out, well organized operation with 5 other co-conspirators involved.
Sounds
in this,
like a good time.
including a member of an Israeli transnational crime group, according to federal prosecutors. But they say that this was something where they had hired women.
You know, I have my Epstein shirt on, and I just don't think you should be hanging out with Israelis when they're up to stuff.
You know, they say a transcontinental crime group, but they never say what it's for.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I think they like getting people in high places. He has a podcast. He's probably influential.
I have never heard of his podcast. I'm sure he's never heard of ours either. But
No, he definitely hasn't heard of ours. But he could come on here as a guest. I'm willing to defend him tooth and nail.
Who would help out in the operation and give what they call companionship to those who were playing in the game. That they had armed security guards, that they had chefs that were hired for all of these. And
I don't know, Wade. It sounded like I want to go to that.
Sounds cool. In the clips they have been playing against the LeBron Miami Heat team. And that was one of my all-time favorites down there. This was probably the last time
they had security guards.
They were
make sure the wrong people weren't getting into all of this. They had a rake, a fee, the house charges. So they say this was well organized. All were arrested today. A number of agencies involved. Arenas was arrested today as well, facing charges that, if convicted everybody involved could get 5 years in federal prison. Kana.
Wow.
So he was a little bit before the new CBA in basketball that really blew the spending out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Now basketball players are making a lot of money. He was a little old during the switch to a lot of money.
All right.
But he should have had a pretty solid stockpile heading up.
I don't think he's gambling for money. I think he's gambling for a good time.
Well, he was the house. The house always gambles for money. He said he was getting the vig off the top of everyone that came in there.
Doesn't he advertise for a on sports betting company? I think that he does.
They get a lot of the older players too.
I think he and I read that somewhere, and I didn't put it in the show notes, but I think he does. But anyways, it says that between the operation featured pot limit Omaha games, a rake from the pots, and the staff included security, a chip runner, and service staff, such as women providing drinks or companionship in exchange for tips.
Companionship?
I think that's a good way to word it when they really can't prove it.
I think we provide companionship to all our viewers here.
Whoa. Whoa now. Whoa.
We have him leaving the courtroom though, I think.
Oh, this is the best part. And guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this. A lot of this stuff you're not going to see because I'm not technologically advanced to figure out how to do it on TikTok yet. So if you're watching this, you can tune into our channel on YouTube and see a lot of these videos.
The videos are the best part.
You better not. Can't hold me, baby. They can't hold me. Hello. Free.
You know, that's saying a lot because he was on a $50,000 bond.
That's not a lot of money for what they're alleging.
That's one Omaha rake, isn't it? To the house.
I would say if they're saying a $50,000 bond, I don't think the money's as high as it could be. Maybe it was. These NBA guys, I know you hear the stories of Jordan. He would gamble on anything.
Oh yeah. Was it a Chappelle show? They did that skit on it where they were pitching quarters.
Yeah. So they just have money to blow. So why not just bet and play games? He's living in LA. He is probably surrounded by some of the richest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just, if some people come over to my house to play poker, you know, we're $50 buy-in's probably good enough to get you through the night.
Right.
But there, a $50,000 buy-in might not mean a whole lot for them.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're dealing with Israeli crime groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure their budget's pretty high because we fund it.
All right. What we got on the docket next? That's the coolest thing we had on the docket.
That was the coolest thing.
But we got some wild things on the docket next.
We doing talk about the robots taking over the future?
You know, I was talking to the assistant prosecutor, and he said it was some like movie when I was telling him about that we were going to do this on the show, and I can't remember the name of the movie that he was talking about. But it's this kind of this facial recognition stuff. After we talk about the judges, was kind of like that. But anyways, we got AI judges, and we have
like the Tom Cruise movie.
What's the name of that movie?
It's not Total Recall.
If you guys know, let us know. Like we can't remember what it is. So if you know, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. But anyways, we have two judges that their rulings they had to take back their rulings because they wrote them with AI. And listen, AI is very, very dangerous in the legal world.
Well, they're saying the judges wrote these opinions, but if I know anything about a judge,
they didn't write no opinion.
They didn't write any opinion. This was a law clerk who really fumbled the bag.
Well, I mean, what I was getting at about it's really dangerous for an attorney to use AI is because it feels things. AI wants to tell you what you want to hear. So if I say, "Hey, AI, give me a defense for eating too much prunes and driving and get pulled over for a DUI," it's going to make up case law about it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be like in 1884, this blah 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 was decided, and it's all made up.
And they'll give you cites, and it looks like these perfect cites and this perfect case law, so elegantly worded. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I got it." And then when you go check the case,
doesn't exist.
So don't use AI if you're an attorney for case law. Don't. No.
Well, we've seen across the country that many attorneys have been disciplined for using AI. The one guy
in the Amherst Spradlin case.
Yeah,
Yeah, in Amos Renniclay, he got fined.
He got fined.
Contempt of court.
He's lucky that happened. I want to say another guy got caught using AI. Then he tried to use AI to fix AI's mistake.
Man,
you just keep falling into a hole. But we have federal judges in Mississippi and New Jersey. When I first read the story, it was only down, I want to say the Mississippi one, but the New Jersey one is added to it here. Lawyers in the case said that they were factual inaccuracies and other serious errors. So I bet it wasn't the winning lawyers that found these errors.
No, I bet you're right. Yeah, because I'm sure this was a finding of fact of conclusion of law, some sort of order, some sort of summary judgment. And here we have case, and these attorneys were going through here looking like, why do we lose this? And they're finding this stuff.
Well, this wasn't just like a run of the mill lawsuit either. In Mississippi, it was a civil rights lawsuit. So I would say that's more of an important one. Incorrect plaintiffs and defendants and included allegations that were not in the complaint. Is that not important?
That is very important. And, you know, if I'm using AI to write something, I'm at least going to read it. And I feel like incomplete plaintiffs and factual errors, I'm going to realize that when I read it, because if I'm the judge sitting on the case, I'm going to know what happened in the case.
I have friends who are currently clerking for federal judges, and they got the time on their hands to look up the case law. I think that's the whole job, is the research.
So if I wonder what the case volume is in federal court like that.
Case volume is pretty high, but not everything is like heard on the merits, I think.
In Mississippi, really high caseload.
Same day in New Jersey, you got to think of the districts, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey probably has a couple districts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
West Virginia has a northern and southern district. We're a very small state. Other states just have one.
Yeah, Kentucky has an eastern and a western, but I mean, inside that eastern and western, they got like 6, satellite offices.
Okay, no, I think that just shows just how wild West Virginians are, that we have 2 federal court districts. People are up to stuff here. I love the fact that we used to have a federal courthouse here in Williamson from the Prohibition
and
days.
Now it's a law office.
Yeah, law office by a pretty prominent political member here.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It is. Well, I've not been in it, but the outside's beautiful. I've not been upstairs.
He still has the full courtroom up there. Yeah. It's really cool. Where they keep the prisoners at, they turned it into like a kitchen. There's like a refrigerator in there. So very same day, U.S. District Judge withdrew a ruling that he issued in a securities lawsuit after defense attorneys told him that there were factual errors, including quotes that lawyers said were not in cited cases. A person familiar with the circumstances in the case said research produced using AI was included in a draft decision that was inadvertently placed on a public docket before a review process.
Well, I say if you're using like tailor-made AI, like Co-Counsel and Lexis and Westlaw, their AIs, I'm sure that's going to be a little bit better than using a Gemini or a Chat GTP.
That's what I think happened here. I think they used one of the cheaper free ones,
right?
Because if you're using a legal AI, they're good. They're getting better and better every day.
But you still have to check it. I mean, you just can't.
Well, that's the best thing about the legal ones. They give you hyperlinks to the cases. Just click on the case and read it yourself and figure it out. ChatGPT, they just say, here's a case that I
just made up.
That I made,
and it's got everything that you wanted to hear.
I'm so smart.
Perfect.
I'm so smart. I knew this was the answer. The judges did not say how the errors were included in their decisions. I think that's them saying, I'm not going to admit to not reading this or looking at anything.
Or, it might be like you said, they're probably not trying to throw their law clerk under the bus.
I think this is a good learning moment to be throwing someone under the bus.
I know, but you got to think, you got a young attorney. You don't want to, or a young future attorney.
Maybe.
Right. You don't want to do that.
You think this would affect bar admission?
Wade, you rule with an iron fist, man. He's a judge. He's a federal judge. You're okay. You don't be throwing that law clerk under the bus, man.
I don't care. I don't care about the securities case.
Obviously, you don't care.
The securities case don't matter. The civil rights case, out of Mississippi? You're telling me a civil rights case out of Mississippi that you can just
What if it was in Salem?
It's ridiculous. you gotta say something.
Or is it Selma?
wrong.
What's the name of that place in Mississippi? All that stuff. They walked across the bridge.
Selma.
Selma,
Selma.
not Salem. Sorry.
Selma. There should be some repercussions to that. Right here. Attorneys are ethically bound to ensure the accuracy of court filings.
Well, the attorneys found it.
Somebody
They
found
didn't
it.
say the judges are ethically bound.
I think they are. We have more AI of the robots.
Hey guys, we have
over.
5 people in here right now. Please say hi to us. You got any questions? Let us know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please get us out there. We're trying to grow this channel, and we're still playing on this equipment, so we need some help.
Yeah, just don't tell those federal judges what I said.
Yeah.
We have AI. I bet this was what Josh was talking about.
Yeah, the facial,
predicting crimes.
oh, yeah, like future police. There was a Futurama on that.
Yeah. What was the details of Futurama? Who did it?
It was Bender and Fry joined the Future Police Division, and they had this thing hooked up to a like this robot hooked up in a pool of all these wires and stuff, and he had a huge brain, and then he would like roll out a ball, and it would tell you like a crime that was getting ready to get committed, and then Bender and Fry would go and try to stop it.
Wow.
It's called the Future Crimes Division. And
Great
we just lost 2 viewers. Me talk about Futurama.
Well, I didn't want them here anyway.
If you don't chew big red gum.
I do love the
let's set this up. Let's set this up. This is a AI gone wrong, and what this is going to talk about is this is a guy in Jacksonville, Florida, that was he wasn't in Jacksonville, Florida. He never left Fort Myers.
Yeah, you're on the robot side. He never left Fort Myers.
They never left Fort Myers, and they the robot, this facial recognition software, matched a guy that kind of looked similar to him, but you can tell it's 2 different guys, and kind of matched the picture, and they ID'd him as a guy who was doing something like luring kids at McDonald's or something like that.
Well, you're gonna love his name.
Wrongfully arrested after local police used AI facial recognition technology.
What is going on?
We're gonna go to the car real quick, and we're gonna talk to.
Jacksonville sent them to get me.
In an Action News Jax investigation, Logan McDonald dug through this case of misidentification and spoke to experts about the potential risk as local police use AI to solve crimes.
God, this is nuts.
I wouldn't know what to tell you, G. It's not our investigation. It's all Jacksonville.
This is 51-year-old Robert Dillon, the Lee County man who was arrested last year after the Jacksonville.
His name's Robert Dillon. I thought his name was Robert Diddler.
That's probably a better reason to arrest him, because the name comes up. This guy's matched to a Robert Diddler. It's definitely him.
Yeah,
it's the guy.
No, Dillon's different.
Police department said he allegedly tried luring a 12-year-old child in Jacksonville Beach back in November of 2023. The only problem, the police identified the wrong suspect.
He's never even been up there. I haven't been out of Fort Myers in 2 years.
According to a Jacksonville Beach police report, Dillon was linked to this suspect caught on surveillance video in a Jacksonville Beach McDonald's through the use of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office's AI facial recognition technology. Jacksonville Beach PD conferred with JSO, which provided a 93% match between Dillon
Okay,
and the
viewers. It's a 93% match. I'm gonna say it's close.
It's real close. I think it's close. But this is the thing about this, to go and arrest someone, you have to have probable cause that they're the person who that crime was committed and the person was the one who likely committed it. I don't think a facial recognition match with 2 pictures is probable cause. I think you have to do some more, corroboration of the facts. I think you need to know who this guy is, where he's from, has he been to the area. I think there's a lot of questions. I think that's a lead. I don't think it's a enough for probable cause.
You think the police should do genuine investigatory work here?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think I know we deal with it every day. But okay. But I mean, I think that's a lead. I think it's a great tool. But
it's a tool, right?
It's a great tool.
Use it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's enough to go out and arrest someone. I think you have to do a little bit more investigative work than that. And when we're holding police or attorneys to standards about AI in court, which is talked about them using AI in court, and this is on court documents. But the police are using AI to arrest people and taking away their liberty. So I mean, there have to be some sort of punishment for that as well.
I would hope so, but think about how easy it would be just to check. You matched it to this guy, right?
Yeah. And
is that not enough to get a cell phone tracking data or something like that?
Yeah, that's enough for a warrant. Yeah.
It's enough to or at least
maybe it depends on who your judge is, but I know most judges it's enough for a warrant.
I think that's the problem, that this is enough for a warrant.
Well, no, I don't think it's enough for an arrest warrant, but I mean, it's not enough to go out and I don't know what the top of their training is, but I think that they would have to be trained a little bit more cooperation than that.
Well, we'll see.
Suspect using that technology. The report says police then provided a photo spread of Dylan and other similar-looking individuals to 2 witnesses, both.
So a photo spread. They gave him a photo spread of him and similar-looking people.
Mm-hmm.
You think we'll ever see that photo spread?
I say not. And did they give it to
witnesses who saw him at the scene of I believe, McDonald's?
Okay, well, I mean, it's all going to come out in the wash. I'm sure there's going to be a federal lawsuit on this.
I almost imagine if they're this incompetent that that photo spread is just going to be
oh, we threw it away.
Yeah.
Who was the witnesses? We didn't write it down.
It's going to be 3 women and a black dude. No one near the view that looks like him.
Yeah.
He looks very similar to the first guy that was actually there, but
identified Dylan as the suspect. But the case would later be
generic Florida man. Is he not generic Florida man? That's the problem.
Will be wiped from Mr. Dylan's record.
Police are not allowed under the Constitution to arrest somebody without probable cause. And this technology expressly cannot provide probable cause. It is so glitchy. It's so unreliable.
Nate Fried-Wessler is the deputy director for the American Civil Liberty Union's Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project. He was part of the legal team that helped sue on behalf of Robert Williams, a Detroit man wrongfully arrested thanks to facial recognition similar to the technology used to identify Dylan. The Detroit Police Department settled that case for $300,000 in damages and implemented safeguards when using AI facial recognition in their investigations. Fried-Wessler says wrongful arrests using AI facial recognition are more common than many think, especially among people of color.
It's partly because of photo quality problems in low light situations when the cameras are trying to identify darker skinned people. In fact, in almost all of the wrongful arrest cases around the country that we know of, it's been Black people who have been incorrectly, wrongfully picked up by police.
Action News Jack.
We complain about other you have the Chinese social credit score system and all that. We complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
We do that here. We're recording people everywhere and tracking their every movements. Might not be the government, it might be some company, but they know exactly where everyone is, and they're tracking what you buy and your purchasing habits. And this is only going to get better. This technology is only going to get better. And when it comes to questioning technology from a defense lawyer standpoint, how do you do? Because fingerprints are not a perfect science. Bite mark DNA is not a perfect. None of it's perfect. It's not certain, but we think that it's certain.
Right.
Our police drug sniffing dogs are not 100% accurate, yet we say, "Oh, this is credible enough."
Right.
This is just going to be another thing that we're going to say is credible enough.
Well, that's where you have to make sure you're getting the right judges in the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure you get those judges that will uphold privacy. That's something we're losing a lot of in the United States. Every movement, you said it right. Every movement we're making now is tracked. I was just talking today. My son is coming home from Canada, and I was telling my wife on the phone that we'll probably have to get him an Uber from the port where he's at to the airport. And so when I was right after I said that, I had a notification from Uber giving me a discount code.
Mm-hmm.
And if we learned anything from the Brian Koberger case, is that when they go get your cell phone data, they know everything about you. They know where you went. They can retrace your whole steps. I mean, there's no privacy anymore.
And it used to be a big circle.
Mhm.
That dot on the map that you create is getting smaller and smaller and more
Right.
accurate.
Reached out to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office about its use of the technology following Dylan's wrongful arrest. And we asked
What's up,
for
guys?
examples of the successes using facial recognition technology. They responded stating, quote, "The results of such queries are not positive identifications and should only be utilized as investigative leads."
Oh yeah, that's what I said. To look investigative leads.
Yeah. But then if you just take his photo and throw it in front of witnesses, which we know eyewitness accounts are very hit or miss. Like
Yeah, I understand because like if you had a picture of me and a picture of you, and then you put Brad Pitt down, you're like, which one does this guy look like?
Me.
However, Freed Wessler says he doesn't believe that was the case in this Jacksonville Beach police investigation, adding that photo spreads based off a facial recognition match aren't sufficient evidence to make an arrest.
Because when this technology gets it wrong, it's going to get it wrong with a face of somebody who looks similar to the suspect. And so it's no surprise that when police juice a lineup procedure with a doppelganger, with
Exactly.
a lookalike, a witness is going to choose an innocent person.
Now the Jacksonville Beach Police Department tells
Good point.
Action News Jax the investigation is still open after Dylan was cleared of any wrongdoing, adding in part, quote, "We will not be commenting on this matter beyond stating that all warrant requests are submitted to the state attorney's office. It is solely their decision whether or not to move forward with
Wow.
issuing a warrant." We reached out.
that's what stood out to me a lot.
They
in
threw
this.
the state attorney's office under the bus.
They did. They definitely did here. And if you're the state attorney and you rely on the police, like you're like, oh, this guy was
Yeah.
picked out of a photo lineup.
Yeah,
You're going to trust your guys,
yeah,
right?
the state attorney's not doing an investigation at that point. You're bringing it to them to issue a warrant, and you're bringing it's a one-sided investigation. Hang on one second.
Yeah, definitely a one-sided investigation. And now going forward, how's the state attorney supposed to trust any investigation that comes out of this office? Because now they're going to feel like, oh, if they make a mistake, they're just going to put it on me that a mistake was made. So they're going to be a stickler.
Right.
And
Yeah, like I said, the officers coming to the state attorney, they have this one-sided investigation. They're telling their truth. They're telling their facts. And it's nothing that the state attorney's office is corroborating at that time. They're just listening to the officer.
Mhm.
So just like the attorney for the ACLU said, just like a juice lineup, the state attorney's office is getting a juice details about the investigation. So,
and this was what, trying to pick up a kid at a McDonald's?
Yeah.
Did he ask the kid to come there? Was it just a strangers? Any more cameras at the McDonald's to see where they went?
Right.
Like, how much work do you think they actually did?
Yeah, and if you're IDing someone, I mean, there's only so much things that you're going. If you've seen somebody for the first time, there's only so many details about their features that you're going to remember. So when you give someone a picture of someone who is almost a match to what they look like, and they look kind of similar, your brain's going to think that was the person.
Middle-aged white dude.
Yeah.
That's like everybody down there. He's a little sunburned.
Reached out to the state attorney's office as
No
well.
sleeves.
A spokesperson only confirmed Dylan was cleared of any wrongdoing. Now, Dylan's lawyer tells Action News Jax he's seeking compensation, though he and Dylan declined interview requests. Meanwhile, Courtney Barkley, an AI policy expert at Jacksonville University, says law enforcement agencies across the nation will continue to use AI and facial recognition. She outlined the need to always second guess.
Every industry is just now starting to scratch the surface of the potential of AI, how it can impact our society. law enforcement is no exception. And so, again, we just want to be cognizant of the risks.
Jacksonville Beach Police declined our request for interview. For local coverage you can count on, reporting from Jacksonville Beach.
I just think this. You're right. This is very future police questioning. Like if we have the local prosecuting attorney questioning this type of action, that's at least a good sign to
I know,
me.
yeah.
Like they're thinking about it.
Yeah, there has to be more work done. And I mean, we're going to live in a world where there's always eyes on us.
Oh yeah, there's definitely always.
And so, I mean, it's going to bring a lot of constitutional questions. It's going to bring a lot of legal questions moving forward. Like I said, you got to have the right judges in the right spots.
Well, that's the Fourth Amendment argument. The like textual approach is it's property. Property is Fourth Amendment. But then the more like 60s liberal approach was it's reasonableness, your reasonable expectation of privacy.
Right.
And when it comes to this is all reasonableness because it's tracking you in public property. In public, you have no
right to expectation of privacy in public. You have none. You're absolutely right.
So we're going to start seeing people wearing a bunch of head coverings, face coverings.
Was that suspicious? Well, thanks for the like.
No, thank you. I guess it could be, but that's where we're going. People are. If you think of this New York shooter, he was covered head to toe, like you couldn't really see anything, and they found him in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
they're tracking
by eyebrows.
By eyebrows.
How much bushy eyebrows is going on in the crime world lately?
I guess they should hit up.
I mean, because they recognize Brian Koberger by
Yeah.
eyebrows, and they recognize Luigi Mangione by eyebrows.
Italians, bro.
They're wilding.
You gotta watch out for the Italians. Next, we have a little updates on some cases that we've covered here in the past to close out, which I think is a good time to.
Yeah, the Brian Epperson case is moving on. Powell County actually filed another charge, and it was possession. And in that criminal complaint, and they said there's body cam footage of this, Wade, in the criminal complaint. And we didn't read the criminal complaint today, but I looked at it today. And in that criminal complaint, it said that he admitted that he went into Lexington, bought the methamphetamine, and put them in the pill capsules.
That's a lot to admit to. I would say don't admit to that to the police.
Give them a little recap who Brian Epperson is.
So Brian Epperson is a local handyman in the middle to eastern Kentucky area. He travels around, does handyman work. An Airbnb he had rented in his name. A woman overdosed there and died. A hotel room rented in his name. A second woman overdosed and died. And then last fall, there was a connection between him and a woman on a dating site. And on that dating site, they met up and she also overdosed and died. And there was a connection between these pill capsule meth-filled drugs they were taking. And that was the cause of the overdose. And the overdose numbers were incredibly high. Like you wouldn't expect to survive, I wouldn't think.
I think that they said that the normal overdose was 250 nanograms per milliliter in your blood. And these people had like 50-some thousand.
Yeah, it was incredibly
It was
high.
crazy. And not only that, he was a handyman. He was going out to people's homes and
he was putting spy cams in. So imagine your wall socket. He would replace that and put in a spy cam, a ceiling light fixture. In an ex-girlfriend's house, he put in a fake digital clock. And all of these were Wi-Fi enabled local recording devices. And he would record people doing intimate acts. And they believe a lot of people he interacted with, he did this.
Right. And so now that the way they tied him to the crime is that they went into the hotel room and found some of these pills. And I think it was Rochelle Dawson is the name of the young lady that they found in the hotel room. And then when they found that the room was registered in his name, they went to search his truck and they found these pills. And now that we got our hands on the criminal complaint, the police officers say that when they were interviewing Brian Epperson, and they marked on there they had body cam. So hopefully this is all on body cam. he admitted to going into Lexington and buying the methamphetamine and then filling the pills. But what makes me question that a little bit is that what's his defense going to be, because he has hired a big time attorney from out of Lexington, Tucker Richardson, to defend him. And if you guys don't remember Tucker Richardson, I believe that he was the attorney that defended the airline pilot in a triple murder.
Yeah, that was trending news out of Kentucky. Didn't win the case. So,
No,
yeah,
but still, it's still a lot of money. I'm pretty sure that Tucker Richardson probably charges a pretty penny.
I think he does, and I think he's going to lose again. So keep on paying. This guy seems to be pretty dead to rights in the media aspect of it. The Facebook page, the Victims of Brian Epperson Facebook page, is absolutely huge. And recently on there, they've put in more allegations against him from other women in the area.
Do we have that?
Yeah, you can pull up their Facebook page right now. They're the number one source for anything in this case.
I think I was looking at this and I didn't realize how big this story was, but there was this guy or woman, I don't know who runs this page, but they said they had over 600,000 views on this page in the past week.
Yeah.
I mean,
an incredible amount.
And that's good, because if we're going out in the community and we're trying to find more victims, this is a good way to find them.
You got to really verify the information. I'm big on media verification,
right.
And this is small time. So, you really can't check on every source, but the sources here have been right so far when we've used them.
And we also have a DUI manslaughter that he pled to.
About a decade ago, he was high on a bunch of stuff, they say, and had a pretty nasty car accident, and it ended with the death of a man there.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of courage to speak out against the sadistic monster. I hope more victim survivors come forward after your bravery. So this was, they're saying, a sexual assault of this woman. And they're also alleging the FBI is involved. And they're also saying the local PD might not be doing enough.
Okay.
But I think there's nothing I've seen that says that so far.
Right.
But, like more headlines.
There he is. And I mean, you have 3 beautiful young ladies that he's been victim of, this guy.
Yeah. Marriott there. Apparently he was sending some money transfers to lure his victims there. They got some Cash App transactions. It was obtained by a source who said she had multiple interactions with Brian over the phone, but never met. So he's getting hotel rooms. He's getting Airbnbs. He's sending hundreds of dollars at a time. He's going up to Lexington to buy apparently large quantities of drugs. And now he has a very expensive lawyer. It seems like a lot of spending for a handyman.
Yeah, it does. He had he must be building hotels.
He must be. I think this money is either coming from drugs or those video cameras that he had.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I've thought about this the whole time. It just seems like he has money. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have more. One of the Brian Epperson murders happened in Winchester, Kentucky, and there's another scandal happening there in Winchester.
What's going on?
Probably a lot for the community to deal with. It is a local, I want to say, preacher.
Oh no!
And he has some pretty serious allegations involving children. And the thing is, after these allegations of interactions with these children, he is still around children at church. So it involves a couple constitutional issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the people there are pretty upset about it. And the judge over his case, when they found him guilty, well, he took a plea, but the judge had some pretty harsh words for him.
One of the
Pay
most
the bills.
exciting steps in searching for
Well, homes.com, I'm sure they're reputable.
Thanks for joining us. Well, tonight, a local minister disobeying a judge's order to stay away from young people. Joseph Price was sentenced to probation in a case where he was originally accused of having illegal sexual activity with 2 teenage girls.
Lee Searcy went to Winchester to find out, and tonight's LEX 18 investigates.
Good evening, family, friends, church members, and ministry partners.
That's video shared on Facebook just last Saturday from Joseph Price, who runs Faith Harvest Ministry.
Now going black and white on a Facebook video you recorded yourself. That's what's he going for there?
I don't know.
He's in Winchester. He's the same Joseph Price who in May of 2023 was working as a lieutenant with the Fayette County Detention Center when a Franklin County grand jury indicted him on multiple counts of unlawful transaction with a minor involving 2 girls under 16. Last month, he was sentenced to probation in that case after pleading guilty to amended charges, 2 counts of wanton endangerment, 2 counts of sexual misconduct, and 2 counts of stalking.
Mr. Price, I've read all your stuff about ministry and everything like that, and you know, I don't think it's a good idea to be around any kind of younger teenagers or anything like that during your probationary period. So I would order that you are not to be around any other than family members.
We obtained the courtroom audio. Franklin Circuit Judge Thomas Wingate didn't mince words when he ordered Price to stay away from minors and his ministry.
Yes. So people in the ministry that use the word of God to get in some child's pants was the most egregious thing that I've ever had to deal with. So make sure you don't do it. You understand me? Yes, Your Honor.
But as you can see, Price is still preaching, and according to his ministry page, even invited church family to the Winchester Dairy Queen for dinner on July 17th. According to his online information, Price operates his ministry out of this garage here in Winchester on Wynn Avenue. We checked it out to see if he was there. The gate was locked with no sign of Price. I called his attorney, who had no comment. This week, the Commonwealth filed a motion to review the conditions of Price's probation, writing that it's come to their attention the defendant is employed in a capacity that violates the court's explicit directive to have no employment related.
I feel like this is a little disingenuous of the state.
Mm-hmm. The Commonwealth. The Commonwealth.
Oh, fancy. The Commonwealth of Kentucky here says not to be employed. And I agree. If he's a teacher or whatever,
Right.
working at a pool, just keep him away. But this is at a church, and the First Amendment says he can freely practice his religion.
Yeah, but on probationary, he's on probation. So
Yes.
he's taking a plea to a crime. I would expect that you lose a little bit of your rights in that.
This guy should lose some
I mean,
rights.
because the court would have to rule is his constitutional right to freedom of assembly, freedom to practice his own religion,
association.
Does it outweigh the crime that he's done in the protection to the minors?
It's weird, right? Because it's like he's not inviting the children. Some family is bringing their children to a church where the preacher is accused of these things.
Well, I think now with this news story, I mean, I think everyone's going to know who he is and what he's done. So if those parents keep on continuing to let them go to their children to that church,
well, Winchester, is that big of a place that you wouldn't know about this story?
It's a pretty big place.
Yeah,
Clark County is. Clark County is a pretty big place. Winchester's a pretty big community. There's a lot of people who go through there.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that I'm sure the local community knows about this by now,
and I think they're still bringing their kids to that church, which is odd. That's really the end of this story. They're trying to say it violates the court orders.
Price is due back in court August 15th to answer to the judge.
So I wonder if they think that he's revoked his probation or violated his probation. I wonder if they've arrested him or they just set him a court date.
It seems like they set him a court date, which normally they don't do if they think you violated
If they
your
think they
probation.
violate you, they come get you. Yeah, they put a temporary hold on you.
And I think this is because it says employment.
Right.
And is he getting paid to? Is that a part of his employment to be a preacher? Is it?
Maybe, but you're right. It definitely was a gray area.
Weird.
You just got to, he has committed a crime, and so the court has to, weigh those constitutional rights with the protections to the community.
From his plea deal, he committed a lot of crimes.
Right. So
I think he should probably just, if you have a church, it's his church. He's the preacher, the main guy. Is that how that works? Is he the head honcho?
I don't know. I've been to churches where there's multiple people who get up and preach.
Yeah.
So he might not be the head guy, but
how many churches are ran out of a garage?
We have one down the street's ran out of a storage building.
Okay.
To me, it doesn't matter where you do it at, but I mean, a church can be anywhere.
I agree.
I think, not to get too biblical, I think the Bible even says if there's two or more people who come together in the Lord's name is holding church.
Yeah, that preacher and that 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I don't think the judge is going to be too happy with him. That's just my hunch that the judge will, even if he has to appeal it, I think probation is getting cut. You would like to take a bet on this, before the next episode?
No, I don't know. I think that it's going to be revoked. I think there's too much outcry in the community.
I agree.
Yeah, and Kentucky is one of the Midwestern southern states here. So,
we got to talk to Hillbilly Crime about why people wilding out over there. They're doing some weird, perverse stuff.
I'm really proud of Hillbilly Crime. I've been watching her live streams for the past 2 days when we're not live streaming, and man, she brings in the numbers. I was on her last night. She had 700 people on her live stream.
We're lucky the power went out. We couldn't compete with that.
I know.
But we were up to 7 earlier. I don't know.
I didn't see it. No,
we were up to 7.
Oh.
We got 3 of the viewers still here, and we're
at 3 right now on TikTok.
Ooh, cool.
Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button and get this out there. We're getting ready to end this, but I'm so glad that everybody was here today.
No, I thought today was a really good show. Got to recap some of the old stuff we've talked about and keep everyone informed.
But I got some sad news.
Yeah, what's sad news?
Well, today was Wade's last day as law clerk here in Mingo County. And he's headed back to Morgantown when?
The next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks. So he gets the good news for you guys because he will still be here for the next 2 weeks with us. But after that, we're going to be doing this remotely. The fun's not going to stop. The information's not going to stop. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit those like buttons on TikTok, and make sure you follow us on TikTok as well. And guys, this has been the Docket Dodgers. It's been great being with you guys today, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.